839-1122. The SicEm365 Radio text line is sponsored by Riverbend Liquor and Wine, with the most extensive variety of craft beer in Waco. A hidden gem on Lakeshore Drive and 19th Street.
He is a member of the Pro Football and College Football Hall of Fame, and he is about to be a member of the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame. Former great running back from Sealy, Eric Dickerson, joins us now on SicEm365 Radio. The induction coming up this weekend, and Eric joins us on SicEm365 Radio. It's a long time coming, Eric. I know that should have maybe been the first one, but sometimes timing, where you are, what you're doing as well. But at the same time, what did it mean to you, and what does it mean to you now to be a part of the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame?
Well, first of all, that's where it started at. It started for me in Texas, playing high school football, playing junior high school football first, and then high school football. And, when you play high school football in Texas, you can become famous pretty quickly, especially nowadays, but even back then in the 70s, because you knew the great football players and the teams who had great football teams, won state championships. So, it means a lot for me, to be inducted into a high school football Hall of Fame.
Eric, you mentioned being a big deal, and being a celebrity when you're in high school. Did that kind of hype and attention help you? Maybe not immediately in college or immediately in the pros, but the fact that you kind of grown up in the spotlight a little bit because of your football ability, did that help you as you went on through your career?
No, I think it was the opposite. It was worse because people expected more. They expected you to be this guy, do that. When you came out, and I came out of high school, I'm still a kid. And you go to college and they expect all this stuff from you your first year, your second year, and you come from a small town and just be in high school. You have to develop. And I thought I was ready to play college football, but when I look back at it, I really wasn't. If they'd have redshirted me, it probably would have been the best thing. But I'm glad I didn't get redshirted because it made me a year older. But you have to be prepared to play a sport like college football. Coming out of high school, and like I say, I can admit, when I look at stuff and I go back and look at my career, I knew I wasn't. And when I got to my junior and senior year, then I was a different player then.
So would you say that when analysts, like I remember when Adrian Peterson was coming out there, people were like, he could have gone straight from Palestine to the NFL, and he's Eric Dickerson, and Eric Dickerson could have gone from Sealy to the NFL. Are you calling kind of bupkis on that?
Oh man, please! Ain't no way that can happen. I can tell you that from experience. They can say that stuff, but it don't work like that. When you get up there and you get a chance to really see what it's like, the NFL is way, way different than college or high school. Because you have to be mentally ready for it also. The contact, the verbiage, the talking, just all of it, the mental aspect. And a high school kid, you're not ready for that in the pros. You're just really not.
Eric, the first time you got hit in college where it was obviously different, and you took some hits, you played, 15, 16 games that year in 78, but not many people touched you, but you did roll through most everybody in the state championship game, destroyed Wiley, I think it was Wiley. But was there a difference that first time somebody in college hit you that you hadn't quite felt like that before?
Well, I can tell you one thing. I can tell the guys were stronger in college. They were faster. You think, because in my point when I was in high school, I was pretty much the fastest guy. I was going to be one of the fastest guys. There's going to be very few guys who are as fast as I am, especially on defense. And then when you get to college, you get a chance to see the difference, and it really is. And so, it's just sometimes it's hard to explain. Just how different it is, unless you actually live it. Be there. I can remember one of the times in practice. This is my coming on my first practices at SMU, and I was getting it. I was kind of getting it down, but I was still just didn't feel like myself. And I won't forget the defensive coach, Coach Sidwell. He was the defensive coordinator for us at SMU, and my best friend said, because I was kind of running through him, but I just still didn't feel comfortable doing it. It just didn't feel natural yet. And he said, "God dang it, I hope he's that good or we're just that bad." And that was funny. But I got hit in college. I wanted to get playing TCU Horned Frogs. I think it was our third or fourth game. I got a concussion, and that was the hardest hit I'd ever had. Man, I'll never forget it because I got hit. I go to the sideline and I tell my best friend, I said, "Man, I got hit there." And next thing I knew, I was in the locker room. I'm like, "How'd I get in here?" So you walked off the field and said you couldn't remember anything. So, like I say, you remember some of those hits, but it's way different high school and college.
Eric Dickerson with us on SicEm365 Radio.
Do you feel like track and field, running track and field in high school helped your football career?
Most definitely. I tell every young man, if you're going to play football, I don't care if you're not fast, run track. It's going to make a big difference in your football career. It makes a big difference the way you play football, the way you see it. And if you're fast, it really helps you. I'm so glad that I ran track. I love track and field, I think, more than I love football. But, man, most definitely, I would say that track helped me so much in my football career.
You ran like a track out in the field. You had that track style of running. Did any football coach ever try to mess with that until they said, "No, I'm not gonna mess with that anymore"?
Yeah, they tried to mess with you until you run too high, you're gonna get hit, you're gonna get hit in the chest, you're gonna get knocked out, son, you gotta get down lower. I just couldn't do it. I mean, and the thing is that, I didn't run really high running through the line of scrimmage. I ran high when I got in the open field. And I think people get it confused. And the funny thing is my son, he's 9 years old and he plays flag football and he runs like me. And then one of the coaches told him, son, you run too high. You run straight up and down. He runs track too. And I'll never forget his reply. He said, "This is how I run." I just laughed. He said, "This is how I run." Because and I got to say, he's extremely fast for a kid his age. He's extremely fast. I can't even outrun him, but I'm an old man now. But man, I just feel like that. That's how I ran. That's how I ran my whole career, and people still talk about it, my how I ran upright and, I was tall, but, I was able to get the job done.
You ran in 1984 for an NFL record, 2,105 yards, and you've had some great guys come after you since then. Barry Sanders, Adrian Peterson, Derrick Henry, my God, it seems like he's going to run for 2,000 a year, and others who had amazing years, and OJ, of course, had the original record in 1973. Are you surprised that record still stands?
Yeah, I'm happy it stood this long. I hope it stands a little longer. I know they went to 17 games, but yeah, I am. I always thought I could do it again. And I think if I'd stayed with Rams my whole career, I think I could have did it again. I really believe that we could have did it again. But I'm gonna tell you, it's tough. It's really tough to get to that total of 2,000 yards because a lot has to go right for you, and a lot of things go wrong playing football. My rookie rushing record, I feel like I've always said that would last longer. Because it's 1,808 yards as a rookie, and many rookies don't get a chance to carry the ball that much and have an offense built around them, like John Robinson built an offense around me. And, I was, God gave me the talent to take advantage of it. But yeah, I'm surprised it has lasted 30-something years that it's lasted, and guys get close every year. When they get close, people start calling me and talking about it. So it keeps my name out there.
Joe Beard told me to ask you about playing in Lubbock. Was that a place that you didn't like to play, or what? No, I didn't like playing. I didn't like playing over there. I didn't like it. Nine times out of 10, it was cold as hell. and me, Joe Beard, Craig James, and Michael Charles got into trouble over there in Lubbock. We snuck out and got caught. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we snuck out. I'll never forget. We snuck out. And some of our trainers and stuff was at the bar we went to like a bar, and man, we came back and I said, "Look, don't admit nothing. Don't admit it. Say wait, it didn't happen." I'll never forget it. And so, one by one, Ron Meyer called us in. He called Michael Charles in first, and he admitted it. And then I told Greg, I said, "Man, just say you didn't go." He said, "Okay, I promise I don't want to say I didn't go." And Joe Beard said the same thing. And sure enough. He said, Eric, man, I told him I was out. He said, "I didn't say you out." He said, "Yeah." I said, "I didn't see Eric." I said, "Okay." So Joe Beard went in. Joe Beard, he admitted it too. And I never forget, I went in last. Ron called me in last. He said, "So y'all went out when we played last week." I said, "I don't know what you're talking about." He said, "Eric." He said, "Y'all didn't sneak out." I said, "I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't sneak out." He said, you can look me in the eyes and tell me you did not speak out. I said, I can look you right in the eyes and tell you I did not speak out. So he said, you know what? He said, well, you know what? I'm going to punish you anyway. Because he made us all run. I'll run. I told him, I think it's unfair because I didn't do anything.
You didn't say, like, Coach, I've got one of those faces. People, they think they see me. It's not me.
Well, you weren't the first, and you definitely weren't the last. You got to love it and find some trouble. I'll tell you that much. Yeah.
Eric, you last time we had you on, we talked a lot about SMU. We talked a lot about your recruiting and all of that. What would you suggest? Now you have a transfer portal. Well, everything is like free agency, like it was in the NFL eventually. What do you think about that in college football now?
Well, really, I feel that it's good. I mean, I think it's good because, you know, a lot of kids, let's say you're from a small town or a small school in college, you know, and they don't get a chance to see you. I mean, back in our days, I mean, they didn't know every college player. You know, you couldn't keep up with everybody. I mean, you just didn't know because they draft a guy in, say, the fourth round and like, damn, you know, this guy can really play. You know, we kind of heard him. He can really play. But you get a chance to see him and know him a little bit, you know, know a little bit about him. I think it's good for college players and high school players also. You know, I feel bad for a lot of the young kids, like had a senior year coming up. You know, they were juniors last year, going to be a senior, you know, in 2020 when the COVID hit, because, you know, a lot of those kids were right on the cusp, you know, of being possibly great high school players and getting scholarships from major universities. But it didn't happen just because they didn't get a chance to get seen, especially in Southern California. And in Texas, I think they played high school football, but here in Southern Cal, they didn't play any football, and they're still trying to play it right now. So I just feel like that portal, it really helps the kids a lot.
Eric, the state of Texas and running backs, I mean, you, Earl, Kenneth Hall, Adrian Peterson, Thurman Thomas, the list goes on and on of great running backs. Billy Sims, I mean, could continue on. Earl Campbell, obviously. Why do you think, is that maybe the focus that the state of Texas has on football? Why do you think so many great backs, running backs specifically, have come out of this state?
You know, I just feel like that playing that position, it's like the position to play. You know, I want to be a running back, and I want to be a running back because OJ was a running back. OJ Simpson was my favorite player. And I think that's what guys focus on. They see the backs come out of the state of Texas. Like California's kind of known for quarterbacks over here in Southern Cal. Sometimes offensive line, but we have offensive line and defensive line in Texas. And it's always an argument with me and the guys over here who has, you know, better football. I said, it's not even close. I said, you know, Texas will blow y'all away. But running backs are just that's been our forte. I mean, that's been the thing coming out of the state of Texas. And I can't answer that question. I don't know why it just seems to work out like that.
Eric, if you were here on Saturday and they introduced your name and you've been inducted, as I mentioned, to College and Pro Football Hall of Fame, will it be different if you were able to get up in front of the audience? And it's going to be obviously a different type audience with still some social distancing and stuff at the Texas Sports Hall of Fame. But will it be different for you if you were there?
Well, Mike, I'd say for sure, because for me, I mean, this is where it started at, you know, and I mean, it's an honor to be put in. I mean, like my best friend, I talked to him last night, and he said, man, what they wait 42 years? What are they waiting on? He said, you should have been as soon as you came out of high school. And that was funny. But most definitely, I mean, it would be because, you know, you look back and you think about, you know, a lot of players I played with have passed away, you know, even in high school, and you know, the great team that we had at CD High School, and just going through that whole experience of playing high school football. I mean, high school football is big in Texas. I mean, to me, no other state can compare. You can say Florida, California, but Ohio, I don't care what you say. It's nothing like Texas high school football. Friday night lights. You know, I remember playing on the Friday nights. I couldn't wait, you know, to play varsity football, so I could play on Fridays. And being at the games, you know, as a young guy, I played on JV from my freshman year, and then moved up to varsity. But it was that big for myself, and I think that for me, that's why it started. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget, you know, our state championship. And I'm proud that I played for the Stevie Tigers. You know, I'm happy that we won a state championship, the first state championship, you know, for my hometown of Sealy.
Yeah, and they had that great run in the 90s where they won an unbelievable 4 in a row. Do you remember whether you were ever challenged that year? You won it all? Because I know when I saw you play against Universal City Randolph in the semifinals, Wiley, West, whoever you played, it was always pretty much a blowout. Did you guys get pushed?
Yeah, we got pushed. I can't think of the second. I think it was Hampshire Fournette. I think it was Hampshire Fournette. I think we played them. I think the game was pretty close, like 20-13. And I'd hurt my ankle in the first game, and I didn't think I'd be able to play in that second game. And that was a game against Hampshire Fournette. And I think we beat them. I think I had a good game, but I wasn't myself yet. But I think that was the closest game we had. I mean, and it was that football. If I'm recalling right, that was the closest game that we played that year in the playoffs. We had some pretty close games. During the regular season. We played Brookshire Royal. I think we only beat them 20-0. We wanted to kill them, but we didn't. Sometimes you want to beat them so bad you don't play well. And our rival for sure, the Belleville Brahmas.
Yeah,
we still hate Bell. We still hate them to this day. We beat them pretty good. I think it was like 36-14 or something. It's funny how I remember some of these scores. I'm closer around the scores, but we kind of ran through everyone. We really did. And I always guys would tease me when I got to SMU. Man, y'all played them schools there. Y'all played nobody. Y'all played 2A football. I said, hey, you play who's on your schedule. I said, we'd have played y'all. I teased my friend Harvey Armstrong. He went to Cass.
Yeah.
I said, we'd have beat y'all too. So he says, he talks about all the players on his team. I said, I got one question to ask you. Did y'all win a state championship?
Yeah.
He came out. He said, no. I said, all right, then. Just be quiet.
Yeah, just be quiet. Hey, man, Eric, thank you very much. Congratulations. Appreciate you. Enjoy the draft coming up with the Rams as well and all that you have coming up. Thanks for your time today.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks. Okay.
Hall of Famer. He'll be now in the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame. He's already in the college and pro. And one of the reasons it's taken so long is that there was always a chance that it was about timing with him being able to be at the ceremony. I do not think he will be there Saturday because of commitments with the Los Angeles Rams, but we'll see. Mike Anderson, of course, does an incredible job with that banquet. Go ahead.
Do we have to rush here?
Yeah, kind of. We want to go ahead.
I was just going to bring up the state of Texas and the running backs, and I asked him that question. I realized when I asked it, there's not really like a real answer to that question of why Texas seems to be so dominant when it comes to running backs. But I found a list.